Good evening, YouTube. Welcome back to this next episode of FPL Family with me, Lee, and this is Sam. Sam, it's the hope that kills you. It's the hope that kills you after what can only be described as two actually very good performances by Liverpool and Spurs in European football in the week. I was very impressed with both of our teams. A weekend of not so good. Again, a weekend of not so good, let's just say.
We actually didn't play too bad. We'll talk about that later, but, you know.
Defending left a little bit to be desired for both of our clubs, let's be honest.
I mean, what's new?
I mean, yeah, and I literally, as I was coming onto the live stream, the first tweet in my, what do you call that on X? Timeline, is it? Or on your, what do you call that thing?
I don't know, it's a timeline.
I don't know, like an X timeline or whatever it is. The first tweet on my X timeline said, Liverpool pull plug on Andy Robertson move. So it doesn't look like that's going to happen now, which is good because we are struggling like mad. Struggling like mad.
Why we wanted Andy Robertson in the first place.
Feed, that's it. Your Twitter feed. Why could I not think of that? Twitter feed. Twitter, whatever. Your mic is now off because you fiddle about with it. So do you want to try and put the cable back in? Is it back on now? Let's see. Are the lights on? Is anyone home? It says on here now it's on. Excellent. Is everything all right now? Camera's okay? Mic's all right?
No,
are you settled in?
Yes, now I'm fine. But I knew it wasn't right. I'm really annoyed that I didn't make you just sort it out before we went live because I knew it was wrong.
Oh, okay. Well, we're here now. We're here. The mics and the cameras are working. Liverpool and Spurs are crap. One team that does seem to be back, Sam, to a certain degree, are a certain Manchester United. What a game that was we've watched this afternoon. What a game. 3-2. And just when you think Arsenal were going to get something from the game by scrambling in another what can only be described as pretty unsexy goal from a corner, Cunha steps up with one of the sexiest goals of the season and burns it in the far corner past Raya. What a goal and what a game. I was so impressed with United again.
Those people, like myself, that sold Dorgu 2 weeks ago, that's not gone well. Those people that heard the Cunha was bench room news 2 weeks ago ahead of the derby and sold him, despite the fact he's now been benched.
What a goal from Dorgu today.
Like the pair of them have just like, oh, it's so infuriating. Honestly, it's so infuriating. I brought you in for these lovely 3 fixtures. To be fair to Dorgu, he was actually quite unlucky not to return more in that period. But now he's just like...
There was something quite...
frustrating.
Poetically nice about that Manchester United game. And in a weird twist of fate, the Man United fans are going to like what I'm going to say and the Arsenal fans are going to get right up with what I'm going to say now. But the second Arsenal goal, the one that got for 2-2, it was such a typical Arsenal goal on it, like scrappy, set piece. And a few minutes before that, Arteta had brought on it. He'd done a quadruple substitution. And I reckon the average height of the Arsenal team went up by a metre. And it was just like, I can see how he's trying to win this. He's just lumping the big men in the box. It's just like, if these boys do become champions, and I said this openly in the Slack, and Matt and others were there, and to Matt, I apologise for saying what I said at the time, but I'm going to say it again, is, like, if they're going to be champions, Arsenal, which it looks like they're going to be, because the rest of us are all rubbish, are they the least sexy champions we've ever had? Because this sort of S-housery from corners and this bundling it over the line for 2-2. And that's why the United fans are going to like this, because actually the United goals today, they played some sexy... I've said sexy a lot tonight. They played some sexy football. The Dorgu goal is a proper banger. The Cunha goal is a proper banger. Bruno in the 10 is now a complete no-brainer in FPL, and we all need to get him. So we've got to figure out how you and I do that. We'll talk about that later. But I thought today was a win for sexy football. Over set piece FC. There, I've said it. Arsenal fans, come at me if you want.
I mean, I think they're going to win the league just simply because no one else wants to. Having said that...
Or can.
Well, having said that, Man City and Aston Villa have closed the gap this weekend.
Well, there is that.
So the gap is now 4 rather than 7.
Yeah. I'm not saying Arsenal are a bad team. They're probably the best team in this league. They're probably going to be champions. But today...
I don't know now, because it's the mentality again, isn't it? Like, is it in their heads again?
Oh, do you think?
Well, this is the problem with Arsenal. Ooh. And I'm just going to spit some facts.
Clip the FC in the chat. Clip it, a win for sexy football.
This is not me being, anti-North London, red side of North London.
Is it not?
No, it's really not.
Is it not?
But over the last few
You did shock me.
seasons, Arsenal have been arguably the best team in the league. They've played the best football.
Yeah.
They've made the best decisions. They've, over the last 3 seasons, they have been unlucky not to have won the league in that period of time.
Hard to argue against that, yeah. Okay,
but why have they been unlucky then? Because for me, it all boils down to that winning mentality. Manchester City have it. They have an ability to just turn it back on when it matters most. They have terrible gaps in every season where they're just crap. And they've been in one of those, Man City, over the last few weeks. They've just been rubbish. But then they come out, they beat Wolves. All right, it's Wolves. But nonetheless, they start rebuild, right? And there's a winner's mentality in that club. It's been the same historically with Liverpool under Klopp. Maybe it's a bit different under Slot. We'll find out. Wow. But under Klopp, we've had the same thing, that ability to just grind out results because the mentality is right. With Arsenal, they seem to have the mentality is there when the performances are there. Yeah, but when the performance dips or they get a dodgy result...
I don't know.
No, I do.
They're still in the league, come on.
I don't know now.
Come on, they will.
Well,
they will.
We will find out in May. But...
we will.
If they have, what happens if they come to North London in a couple of weeks' time and we actually play and they lose?
Can you imagine if Spurs actually beat Arsenal in a couple of weeks? Spurs will bring out a commemorative DVD. That'll be, the DVD will be in the shop, won't it?
We parade the trophy. We parade the trophy around North London.
Spurs fans will be unbearable. I mean, it'd be unbelievable. We'll talk about all of that a bit later on. But before we do all of that, we're going to say hello to a few people. George is in, as usual. Hello, mate. He says, nice shirt, Lee. Yes, George. This is the, Alisson, this is the goalkeeper shirt from about 3 or 4 seasons ago, which I'm calling that the good old days, George. That's what I'm calling them, the good old days. So I've brought back a little bit of modern nostalgia, for the good old days at Liverpool, where we were actually decent.
You do always seem to wear this one when you've lost. It's like your funeral shirt.
Well, no, I have 2 black Liverpool shirts that I bring out especially for when we've lost. Notice they've made quite a few appearances so far this season. In previous seasons, they haven't. This is the goalkeeper shirt for 3 or 4 years.
The other one's the teal one, isn't it?
The other one is the slightly greeny teal one, which is this season's away shirt. Yes, which I have worn on these streams, but this one is the Alisson goalkeeper shirt from a few years ago when we were good, when we were good, the good old days. Mitchell is in. Hey, Mitchell, he says, what if Aston Villa win? Well, listen, very good result for Villa again this weekend.
That's what I mean. They're
very good.
Aston Villa and Man City, they're in a moment. Particularly Aston Villa. They're only 4 points behind now.
Yeah, absolutely. Buju Man is in. Hello, Buju Man. Hello from Zimbabwe.
Hello.
Hello from Zimbabwe. Hello to you. The Smiths, 1986, Azzy is in. Very nice to see. He says, is that the kit Becker scored his goal in? I think so, Azzy. I don't know. Someone look that up. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes, Azzy.
Thank you, Azzy. Why have you brought that up?
What? That's one of my favourite goals of all time. The header against West Brom. Is that the one you're thinking of?
No.
Oh, what were you thinking of?
The one against Spurs.
When did Arsenal score against Spurs?
Yeah, he scored against Spurs, didn't he? Yeah.
Oh, possibly.
Yeah.
Azzy, I'm thinking of the header against West Brom. If you're thinking about the one against Spurs, then maybe
that was ages ago against West Brom. West Brom haven't been.
Yeah, that was years ago, wasn't it?
They've not been around for years.
That was
where even are West Brom?
2018, 2019, wasn't it? That. I'm getting my years mixed. That was a long time ago.
That's a long time ago.
As he probably does mean, therefore, the Spurs goal.
Spurs, it was a right at the death, do you remember? It was another one of those stupid FPL family derbies and it pissed me right off.
Chatterbox 5200 is in. I'm not going to say your question, Chatterbox, because it will upset my co-host, but we will, of course, talk about the Spurs relegation battle a bit later on. At Sizing Dave, he said he did score against West Brom in COVID. Yeah, he did. That's what I mean. It's years ago, wasn't it? Years ago, wasn't it?
What's that, the 1920 season?
Because he scored and there was no cheers from the crowd, wasn't there? I remember it. Yes, I remember it. Connor Millwood is in. Connor, nice to see you. Mr. Tendai is here. We've got Joseph Maloney. Hey, Joseph. Very good to see you. Solskjaer 1195. All the United fans are in tonight, of course. Of course they are. And rightly so.
I put Bruno on the thumb.
Boys and girls, rightly so, again. Because you were very, very good. You got Bruno on the thumb again. Well, I think that's
I
think it's the right thing to do, to be honest. Get him on the thumb there every week.
I put him on there. I put people that have played well this week. Semenyo was on there. Enzo's on there. 3 of them.
You got 3 players on. I've not seen today's thumbnail.
It's on the computer, ready for you.
Very good. Or I've not uploaded it. I'll do that in a minute. I'll do it afterwards. Kelly T. Hey Kelly, nice to see you. We've got FPL Stinky. Hello, FPL Stinky. Nice to see you.
Bit like my game week.
Well, a bit like my season, quite frankly. A bit like Liverpool season. Charlie King is here, and a whole host of you guys are in this evening. A few new names in here today. Actually, a few new names in the chat. So if you're new to FPL family, welcome along. Leave us a like if you enjoyed all the faffing about with microphones and cameras at the beginning. A little bit of anti-Liverpool chat and a bit of Liverpool modern history nostalgia. Welcome to the channel. Leave a like, hit subscribe, all that good stuff. Right, Sam, let's get stuck into some of these games because we have got a lot to talk about, haven't we? There's no doubt about it. We probably let's go to here. I'm I've started it on Arsenal Man. I'm going to come back to that. But I'd like to start with Man City 2, Wolves 0, because there is a lot to discuss from a team sheet perspective here. And about you guys, and if we were obviously on Sky or on some sort of official podcast, which you'll have to do at some stage this week, we can't really talk about team leagues, but we can on it on FPL Family. Let's just say I heard some rumours on Twitter that Haaland and Foden were going to be benched in the lead up to this game. And it was coming from a fairly reliable source. Well, not a very reliable source, actually. It was retweeted all over the Twitter sphere. I happened to alert you to those rumours because you were busy at the time. And we both made some changes, which we'll see when we get to our teams, including putting Haaland on the bench.
I wish I'd done that bit. So I was actually feeling oh, God, this makes me sound terrible now. I'm going to say this. Say it.
This is a safe environment on Sunday night.
Particularly as my game week isn't great. However, I was feeling quite smug going into this game week because everyone else seemed to be faffing. There seemed to be a lot of faffing going on this week. A lot of people were a bit unsure about what their move should be. Whereas I just wildcarded and I was like, I like my team. I'm quite happy. I'm going to roll. The only faff I was having was over Van der Ven because I really wanted to play him against Burnley. Couldn't quite bring myself to bench Gahey. The Arsenal boys just feel like you have to play both of them. And then I was like, oh, should I bench Rodgers? No, I can't really do that. Should I bench DCL? Well, I don't really want to do that against Everton. In the end, I decided to just first bench Mickey Van der Ven and let fate play out. So
bench
I was feeling
man, Van der Ven again.
So I was feeling a little bit, like, okay, I'm annoyed about the Van der Ven thing, but okay, fine, fair enough. So I'm upstairs, tidying our kids' rooms with them. Well, you were out at Max with football. Evie and I are cleaning her bedroom. And then my phone starts going actually mental. And I'm like, what is happening? So I look at it and I can see it's the guys in the Slack. And I'm like, oh, they're
trying to get your attention. Sam.
They're probably just chatting. I'm thinking, they're probably just chatting about I don't know. Somebody will be going, what shall I do about X versus Y? And they'll be having a big debate about it.
Do you know what? Sorry to interrupt you. I'm surprised that you weren't by your phone for this because there was a lot of narrative in the 48 hours before that about Haaland and Foden.
I didn't have Foden. So that's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant. Okay.
So it's irrelevant. Yeah, so it's basically just Haaland that this is about. And I'm just kind of like, well, my Vice is on. I don't even know where it was. I can't remember because it wasn't where it ended up. So I think it might have been on.
Who did you captain this week then?
Wirtz, but I'm annoyed.
Wirtz.
Yeah. So I moved it. So, but he wasn't my Vice. Somebody else. I can't even remember. Anyway.
Right.
So then I'm like, okay, well, I'll go and reply to them in a minute. Then you text me, and I'm like, well, what are you texting me for? So I look at my phone, and you're like, Haaland and Foden on a bench. And I was like, oh, my God. Where is... Actually, this comes from my watch. I'm like, actually, where is my phone? I don't know.
Panic.
I'm on the third floor.
Wait, what time is this? Is this 4 minutes to deadline?
11:55, 56. I'm on the third floor, and I'm thinking, I don't know where my phone is. So God. I run...
Bloody FPL.
2 flights of stairs to the kitchen, run in the kitchen, and I'm like... phone, find it, change the captaincy, fine. Then I think Max's football training, he won't be able to do his, I better check. So I log into Max's account. He'd actually already captained Thiago, so that was fine. I left it to it.
He was going to do that anyway,
He was doing it anyway, so I didn't have to do anything about him. So then I think, right, okay, he's okay now. I'll go back to my team and put Haaland to the bench and play Mickey. By the time I go to do that, the deadline's passed.
Right.
So... and then I was a bit like, and then I was annoyed with myself because then I was like, I should have done Haaland and the benching and the captaincy at the same time. But yeah, it ended up being a chaotic 5 minutes that I wasn't expecting. I needed a cup of tea afterwards.
And I think when you, in the cold light of day, when the sort of game updated and an hour had passed and, you start to see what other people have done, that news would have caught out a lot of casual players, no doubt about it, right? Well, for those of us that are engaged and I made a last minute switch. I took Foden out for Semenyo this week on the back of that and switched the captaincy off of Haaland to somebody else on the back of that as well and benched Haaland. And many would have done that, but there would have been millions of players that wouldn't have done that. And Haaland was still very highly captained this week, which means you've got a low average.
I was annoyed with myself because I actually texted you back, didn't I, when you said it? And I said, I don't know to go for Wirtz or Semenyo here. And in the end, I went for Wirtz and then instantly regretted it once the deadline passed and thought I should have gone for Semenyo. But never mind, it's done now. But then I regretted it even more when I looked at, we call it the Inner Circle mini league, which is me, Jules and Kelly. Because both of them had obviously missed that and had captained Haaland.
Right.
So I was like,
make for an interesting pod later this week.
This feels like it feels like a massive opportunity missed now, because obviously Wirtz just got the one extra point, so it was definitely an opportunity missed from my side this week. Because had it been Semenyo or Enzo or Rodgers or actually anyone else in my midfield, pretty much, it would have been a better option. But yeah, there we go. So
what did you make of the game then? So obviously Semenyo seems to have settled in absolutely fine at Man City, and even Gahey I thought had a fantastic game, given it's his first game, and I know he's a top quality defender and he's a Premier League pedigree, but to come into a completely new team with a different mentality, you know, all the rest of it, I thought he just settled in absolutely brilliantly. And even Pep come out after the game and said, you know, he's settled in and he knows the game and he's such an intelligent footballer, and he just ran the show at the back there for City. And there was a couple, I think there was one in particular towards the end where he and O'Reilly got in the way of a shot, and there was a block in there, and they were giving it the old kind of hugs because they're keeping the clean sheet. So there was a couple of moments where Wolves could have got something, but on the whole, I wouldn't necessarily say that, you know, the Man City goal was at any threat here. I got the double clean sheet. I was happy to have Gahey and O'Reilly for this. But Gahey looks like the one to have. If you haven't got him in defence, is he okay, or do you expect him to have less DEFCONs now? He's not at Palace, right? He's gonna be doing less defending at Man City because they got more of the ball than Palace, right?
Yeah, but he wasn't getting like an excessive amounts of DEFCON at Crystal Palace. The upside at Palace was the attacking threat, and we very nearly saw that in this game.
We did see
from
a bit
corner,
of it. Yeah,
went to him back post, and it was very unfortunate actually that it didn't go in quite early on in the game. That was as well. So I don't actually think much changes for Gahey in this moment, apart from the fact that Man City are more likely to clean sheets because Palace, bless them, they're absolutely in the toilet at the minute.
Yeah.
So I don't think it will make too much difference. You know, he might pick up the odd DEFCON here or there at Manchester City, but I think the reality is it's his threat from set pieces, which is probably going to be still very similar to what it was at Palace.
And are you getting out with Haaland yet? What's the deal with this guy? Because this is now quite a few games in a row without scoring from open play. A blip and a bit of an unnecessary risk to take him out. How do you feel about him?
Well, he's got Dr. Tottenham next.
We ain't taking him out ahead of Tottenham, are we? Let's be honest. I mean, yeah.
No.
We're just not. Sorry, I'm really fidgety tonight.
But I think the part of the issue is that there hasn't really been any reason to take him out, as in, like, financially. There's not loads of other forwards I want. So, I mean, I'm struggling to fill my other 2 forward slots, let alone 3.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm not rushing for Salah. Palmer, who even knows about Palmer at the minute, he can't go there. And the rest of them you can afford without selling Haaland. So it's not really been a big issue. If Salah...
No, don't give me an if Salah. Not having it.
If Salah starts scoring, if he finds his shooting boots, if he starts becoming the Salah of last season, then there's a conversation to be had. But despite the fact that Haaland is not great at the minute, he's had a rest now.
I'll tell you now, Salah won't find his shooting boots because it's a system problem at Liverpool. We'll talk about that later, why I don't think I just don't think, it's just so sad to see what's happening to him, actually. And there's people in the chat like Bobby Ted is saying, sell Haaland, I'm 36k. I get it, Bobby. Like, listen, I get it. And he is in a bit of a bad patch. But that is the other thing to say, is that even with him in my team, I've got 2 other strikers that I don't want, that I'd like to sell. And I'm struggling to know where to go, Bobby, honestly.
We had a whole conversation with this at dinner, about this over dinner. Because Max was like, I want to get... I can't even remember what he was talking about now, but...
He wants Mbeumo, didn't he? He assumed Mbeumo was a forward.
That's right. He was like, I want to get Mbeumo, so I'll just sell Thiago. And we were like, no, but he's a midfielder. And he was like,
what? Yeah.
So he was like, well, who will I get in the forward line then? And I was like, I don't know. Then he was like, but also what, Enzo Fernandez? I was like, we can't have all these midfielders. You've got to have some forwards. And that's the problem, is that, I mean, look... We've got another game tomorrow night. We've got the Beto Barry thing to play out with Everton. We've got the Calvert-Lewin factor again. And maybe one of them, or all 3 of them, goes, oh, hello, I'm here.
I said to you earlier, didn't I? I said, if Barry plays well tomorrow night, I will consider him as a transfer in, because I'm like, I've had enough of Hugo. He's way too expensive for someone that doesn't take penalties. Thiago's obviously the other one. Not got anything today.
Yeah, but this was the fixture.
This was the one you wanted, because the games look tricky now for a few weeks. I'm sure we'll be back there with Thiago.
There's João Pedro.
Oh,
again.
Wow, don't go back
but
there.
People will.
Well, we'll talk about them in a bit. So that's the City game. Let's do Arsenal 2, Manchester United 3. We have to talk about Manchester United, because you've just touched on Mbeumo there. But listen, Cunha coming off the bench, Dorgu playing in that ridiculous attacking left wing position again and scoring again and looking confident again. However, gone off with a hamstring injury by the looks of what looks like a hamstring injury. So we obviously need to wait to see whether it's a bad one or whatever. But he did immediately go down. He was immediately holding his hamstring. So it doesn't look great for Patrick Dorgu, but we need to wait and see. Then, of course, you've got Bruno Fernandes, who's now playing in this. If he wasn't a good enough asset in FPL for us before, in that slightly more, let's just say, controlled 8, he's now in a free roll 10 and absolutely ripping it up left, right and centre. Just looked a threat the whole time. So I, for one, am getting Fernandes this week, no question. If Dorgu's hamstring injury isn't too bad, I'll be getting him as well. And I think you can make a case for getting one of the others if you wanted to.
I was always planning to get Bruno this week. That was always the intention. And if you remember back to the wild card, it was either I'll sell Wirtz for him or I'll sell one of Rodgers, Semenyo, Enzo, right, whoever basically was not performing at the time. Now, Wirtz over the last couple of weeks has actually been really good and I've enjoyed owning him. Since Salah's come back though, it's not been as great. So I need a route into Bruno, so that will probably be my route.
That's only one. So since Salah's been back, we'll do Liverpool in a minute.
Midweek as well.
But
Champions League.
Yeah, but he was great in the Champions League.
But didn't any returns.
Oh, okay.
And the same again at the weekend, right? No returns. But I can't bring myself. I can't sell Rodgers. Can I? I don't want to sell Semenyo. Definitely not.
I wouldn't be selling Semenyo.
Can't sell Rice.
Which is the
Don't
thing.
want to sell Enzo. But I have to get Bruno. But I'd really like to get Mbomo as well. I'd really like to have the pair of them.
Yeah.
But then I'm looking at Wirtz and Rodgers out if I'm doing that. And that just feels, I don't know. It's really difficult. The Dorgu-Bruno combination was the perfect blend. What we actually need is a Manchester United number 9, a proper forward.
We want Sesko to be that one, don't we? Or we want Xerxes to be
One
that
of
one,
them.
so that one of them says, I can be the forward for you in FPL, but we're not going to get it.
I don't think we are.
I don't think we're going to get it. The chat's saying, by the way, Dorgu was on the pitch after the game with ice on his legs celebrating with the fans. George is saying Dorgu will be fine. I saw another comment there about Dorgu. So Danny, thanks Danny. Dorgu's got cramps, should be fine. Carrick said it was cramps. So looks as if the Dorgu thing is actually not as bad as perhaps I was anticipating, because he was down holding his hamstring. So
well, he's an easy buy if it is cramp and he's going to be all right for the weekend.
Yeah,
because they don't have any midweek football.
Well, this is the thing. And that's another reason why Triple United is definitely on. It's definitely on because you're definitely having Bruno and you're definitely having Dorgu because they feel like cheat codes. And then the third one you can definitely go for because they're going to be only playing 38 games or whatever this season, right? Or 40 because they got out both cups and not in Europe. So they've got a week's rest between each games. I'm again, I said it last week when the Amorim news kind of broke and it was their first game under Carrick. It was like, if I was a United fan, I'd be flabbergasted, right? Flabbergasted that these people, this team, this bunch of people had this in them and that Amorim couldn't get it out of them.
It's not though, is it? Like, there's been a change of personnel in there. Like, some of them have come back from AFCON, Mbomo, Ahmad, that's helping. But, like, Mainu's suddenly back in the conversation again. Like, there are players. So some of them, yes.
Wasn't it so clear to all of us that if you put a proper 6 in there and you got one... I'm Kobbie Mainu's biggest fan, right? I think he's a quality player. Absolutely brilliant 6. And then you put Bruno a bit further forward, like, not just United fans. We're all saying it.
Oh, yeah, we've all been saying it.
Amorim's not doing it. And you're like, mate, just do that and it'll be fine. And he just didn't because he stuck so rigidly to this system that he believed in. It's such a belief in this system. Carrick's just come along and he must have jumped at the job. Well, he had nothing to lose, did he? Because he's going in there and he's just like, well, I'll just play Kobbie and I'll put Bruno up front. Yeah. Great, back-to-back wins. It's just like, and United
against City and Arsenal, by the way.
United fans are going, he's the Messiah, he's great, he's brilliant. Like, it might turn out to be a great coach for you, but he's just come in and done what we were all thinking Amorim should have been doing for 6 to 8 months. But anyway, you're right. It's a win against City and a win against Arsenal. Bloody hell, United fans. 2 fantastic performances, some cracking goals, like really good goals today. The Cunha goal, I couldn't believe it. The way he cut inside and just pinged it past.
The best thing about the Cunha goal was that I wasn't in the room when that one went in because I was cooking the dinner.
The noise I made.
And I was holding a bag of spinach at the time and I was about to tip it into the pie I was making. And as I went to tip it, Lee made this noise that I can't even...
I just went, oh!
I can't even... But it was so loud and weird that I jumped and the spinach just went everywhere. And I was like, oh, good.
But it was just...
What on earth happened?
Just class. I mean, it was just a class finish. The way he made space for himself. And listen, if he's put that past a League Two keeper in the cup, you're just like, yeah, fair dues, great finish. He's putting it past David bloody Raya. You're like, God, what a strike that is from Cunha. So listen, I'm coming out all sweaty now because I'm getting too positive about Manchester United. I will stop. But Fernandes and Dorgu almost certainly in for me this week, whether I play the wild card or not. Arsenal. What are we saying? Arsenal. If you're a Saka owner, how do you feel about this? Because it's getting increasingly difficult to justify 10 or whatever million he is in FPL, isn't it? Increasingly difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I got rid of him on wildcard on that basis. It's really, really hard because he's expensive. But it's not just that he's expensive. It's that we've spent this whole stream, however long we've been going for so far, talking about midfielders. There are so many midfielders that you can own in the game. And you fill your team with midfielders. And at the minute, the Rodgerses, the Brunos, the Harry Wilsons, who we'll talk about later, the Enzo Fernandezes, they're all returning all the time.
Yeah.
And then there's Saka, who even when he is who's more expensive than everyone that we've mentioned, by the way. And even when he is returning, he's returning at a much lower level than everyone else. So, for me, he is not in the top 3 Arsenal assets to own if you want 3.
You can easily get a Rice, and I'm definitely considering it. And there will be, I think, a lot thinking that way. A lot will be looking to take money out of Saka to Rice so that they can get Bruno Fernandes, and that's absolutely what I'm looking at. Yeah, no doubt. Double defence, are you on it?
Yeah.
Did you think that was a Timber goal, that first one, or no?
I don't know, I watched it a lot.
I was screaming for a Timber goal, I'll be honest.
I know you were. Yeah, it was one of those where, again, on reflection, maybe I should have thought about not playing Timber this week and just play Gabriel, but...
You wouldn't have been saying that if he's like an inch closer to the ball and he gets the foot on it and it doesn't come off of Martinez's heel and he scores a goal.
I think that's the point, is that I thought Spurs would concede.
Yeah.
I thought Arsenal would concede. But I thought Timber and Gabriel might have a bit more set piece. Got that wrong, didn't I, with Mickey this week? But do you know what? I thought there might be, and Timber was unlucky not to get something there. To be fair,
he was playing 9 a lot of the time.
Christian Romero style.
They'd come forward even in open play, and Gabby Jesus does what he does, which is kind of drop off a little bit.
Yeah,
and you're expecting one of the midfielders to drop in there. No, it's Timber there. You know, when Martinez gets the own goal, Timber's the one putting him under pressure. So I don't know. You know, I think you got to keep Gabriel. I'm going to keep Gabriel. But Timber, I'm starting to waver a little bit.
What, would you go down to 2? 2 Arsenal?
Maybe.
Because you're not going to have Saka and Rice, are you?
Well, might not have either at this stage. We'll talk about that.
Well, you go down to just Gabriel.
Well, we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it when I get to my team. But at the moment, I'm probably going to keep the double defence. But we'll see. So you
might not get Rice on wildcard if you wildcard.
I might, yeah, but listen, that's only because of the amount of good options we've got in midfield, right?
Interesting.
And again, I'm looking at my season thinking, still, rank is still crap. And if you want to go for Mbeumo, then maybe Rice it's not a money thing. It's just who's going to be your 5. You know,
yeah.
So I'm thinking about it. I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I'm just thinking about it. But for sure, that's not me saying don't get Rice. Rice is still a very good option, and now I think demonstrably better than Saka, because Rice and 3 million. You know, it's kind of like having Bruno Fernandes and Rice, or Saka and Harry Wilson, something like that, isn't it? That's your sort of conundrum, roughly. So I think Rice and Bruno Fernandes are going to be a popular fixture in that middle. So that's Arsenal 2, Manchester United 3. Very, very good game. Very, very impressed by Manchester United. Very, very impressed. Let's talk about our game then. Let me get this off my chest. Bournemouth 3, Liverpool 2, a 94th minute winner. Just so many bad things about Liverpool here. I don't even want to go on to it because I feel like a broken record every Sunday. It's so bad. From an FPL perspective, let's just do that then. You've got Wirtz, I've got Ekitike. What are you thinking?
like I said before, I was really happy to own Wirtz over the last few weeks. And I did think he played well in the Champions League when I watched the highlights. Obviously, I didn't watch the game because it was on the same night. Were you on the same night as us? Yeah, you were. You were on the same night as Spurs, weren't you? And obviously, I was away having a positive time at Spurs for once. So I didn't watch it live, but I came home and I watched the highlights. And I thought Wirtz played well again. And I was like, okay, great. So much so...
Against Marseille, you mean?
Yeah. So much, despite the lack of returns, so much so that I handed him the captain's armband in all the Saturday morning drama this week.
Yeah.
But in this game, I don't know. It's almost like, well, you said it, didn't you, when we were watching the game? When Salah comes back, everyone just looks for Salah again. And rather than just playing your game and being the player that you've been over the last few weeks, they just start looking for Salah. It's like, you're in the better position. You take the shot. Don't feel like you always have to bow to... I was going to say the more senior player, but the more long-standing player, or
I think senior is a good word to use. I think it's the right word.
It's really frustrating. So in the end, I think probably I'll sell Wirtz this week, a little bit reluctantly, but I just don't like the way that Liverpool play with Salah there, or he plays with Salah there.
I think it'd be fascinating to see what he does with Mo next.
What do you think he's
What does he do with Mo next?
Because you didn't play very well with Mo there.
Look, he dropped him a few weeks ago.
And you've been better.
And he come out in the press and he's thrown under the bus and all that, right? Remember all that? And since that's happened, we haven't lost a game for 13 games in all competitions. Now, don't get me wrong, it's probably the most fraudulent run of fixtures ever, right? Because we've been playing crap and we've got a lot of draws. So when I say we're 13 unbeaten, don't read that as we were fantastic. We've not. We've been bang average, but we've been not losing, let's say. Salah comes back into the team, and first game we lose. Now, it's not all Mo Salah's fault before you come at me. It's not all Mo Salah's fault. The first goal is Virgil van Dijk's fault, 100%. He so casually swings a foot at that ball, and then he expects it to go out, and he doesn't get back. He doesn't go and chase it back, and then whoever it was got the first assist. Was it Hill or was it Scott? I think it was Hill. He just passes it over to Evan Nilsson, who scores. It was crazy. So the first goal is completely Virgil's fault. The second goal... Gomez, we're trying to do the substitution, right? We're trying to get... Gomez is injured.
Again.
Shock, right? Because you're playing him more than twice in a week, he gets injured. Just can't be fit, that kid. So he's trying to get him off, and they're trying to get... Bloody hell, Endo on at centre-half, right? So there's a whole nother podcast I can do about how we've fucked up so royally in the transfer market that we've got to play Endo at centre-half, right? But anyway, we're here.
What you wouldn't have given for Mark Gahey.
Just
pay some money. Just
get it done.
Stop being skinflints and waiting for a free transfer in the summer.
Even better, Sam. A decent player that we brought through our academy in Jarrell Quansah. Maybe don't sell him. I don't know. Maybe keep him. Anyway.
And also stop trying to poach my centre half. Just leave me be.
I would take...
No.
I would literally take anyone right now over than Etaro Endo. I love Endo to pieces.
Dragerson wants a game. You could have him.
We'll have him. He's better than Endo.
He's actually decent, the Dragon. You could have him. He'd do you a better job than Endo.
Anyway, we're trying to get Enzo off the pitch. We're trying to get Endo on the pitch. We're trying to get Gomez off the pitch. And in Slot's defence, him and the other lad, whose name I forget now, they're screaming at the players to get the ball out. Just make a soft foul or something, or even better, just kick it out. The player's injured. We're down to effectively 10 men. Just get it out so we can make the sub, boys. No, we're passing it around for 5 minutes. They're all like, oh yeah, we're Liverpool, we keep the ball. It's just like, boys, please. And Slot's shouting at them. So all of this Slot out narrative. And don't get me wrong, I'm still not slotting her out. I can't make my mind up, guys. Joseph and some of the others in the chat, you tell me what you think. I still can't make my mind up because when I see games like this with my own eyes and I see things like Virgil making individual errors for the first goal, when I see things like senior players not kicking the ball out so we can make substitutions because a player's injured, when I see things like we can't defend a pissing throw-in in the 94th minute, I'm like, yes, there's some stuff you can say Slot is not coaching, and yes, you can say he's responsible for the players and the team that's out there, but my God, some of these players have got a lot to answer for. Bloody hell, Sam, honestly, it's just awful at Liverpool at the minute. Some of them are just... And the fact that we were considering... Kirkes is only fit enough to play off... Oh, God, I'm really going off on one, aren't I now? I knew this was going to happen. Kirk is only fit enough to play half a game, and he goes in the red zone, so he's got to come off at half time. And we're thinking about selling the backup left back we've got to you lot for £3 million. Are you mad? We need him. We actually need him.
I don't know why we want him. We don't need him. We've got a million left backs.
Oh my God.
Why do we want another one?
Just unbelievable. I'm like, I just don't know what to do with this club anymore. And you know what? They got 2 throw-ins at the end of the game on the 93rd and 90th. When that first one comes in, I'm panicking.
Yeah, you were.
And then it gets cleared. I'm like, oh, thank God it's cleared. But it's gone out for another throw. And I'm I sat there and I had like a bit of an outer body experience. I was like,
you hate a long throw as well. It gets you so angry.
I'm like, in what world has it come to where I'm sitting here and I am papping myself that we're going to have to face a long throw in the 94th minute? I was like, I know what's going to happen here.
Lee's hatred of long throws is actually
hilarious. I know what's going to happen here because not only are they good at long throws at Bournemouth, but we're crap at defending them. And it's 2-2 and we haven't deserved to get anything from this game and we will concede. And it was just such a bad goal to concede. Thank you for listening to that. I had to get it off my chest. I felt so disenfranchised, if that's the right word. A better word would be pissed off with Liverpool after this game. I don't want to touch any of them in FPL right now. I don't. I honestly don't. If anyone wants to get Endo, they can. I wouldn't. Anyway, I'm going to be selling Ekitike this week.
Why would anyone want to get Endo in? Of all of the players to pick, why would you pick him?
Thank you, Anycast, in the chat. Anycast is just like, Lee, let it out. Better to rant it. Listen, this is like therapy for me, guys. I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate you all listening to my Liverpool rants. They're getting worse every week. I appreciate it. I'm not doing it. Like, you can tell everyone this is not for just clickbait or anything. I'm doing this because genuinely, we are shit. And I can't believe how the downfall of this team... Like, I can't believe some of the stuff that goes on week in, week out. It's unbelievable.
A little bit of insight for you. Obviously, the game was televised.
I've got to take a breath
here in the UK.
And have a lie down.
So we were watching. And Max had a friend over yesterday. And so Lee was really desperately trying not to be weird because I'd already been weird earlier on in the day. I'll be honest. We'll talk about that story when we get to Spurs. But I'd already been a bit weird. Lee was trying desperately hard not to be weird. So the game is coming to an end. You're sort of okay-ish with the draw, I think, in the end. And you're like, okay, just see it out, boys. See it out.
Take it on the basis that we've been rubbish.
Yeah, just see it out. Get out of there. Get away from ball. Like, just get out of the game. And then they concede. And then the final whistle goes. And he's like, right, that's it. I've had enough. And then... there was no post-match interviews. There was nothing. He was like, I'm not interested in any of this anymore. Just turns the channel over and puts on some nonsense quiz TV show.
Weakest Link pod.
And at that point, it was some random episode of the Celebrity Weakest Link.
Never watched Celebrity Weakest Link in my life.
Why is the Celebrity Weakest Link on?
But at that moment, I wanted to watch that over the Liverpool post-match.
And I was like, why are we watching this? Just like, and he was like, I'm just so annoyed. I can't. He was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do any of this anymore. I don't want to look at football, talk about football, be at football, anything. And I was like, okay, then. It wasn't a great day to be in our house yesterday.
People in the chat saying, ironic, you had to turn over to the weakest link. It's just like...
I know. Oh, yeah, that is ironic.
Who's the weakest link?
And they were honestly, the people on the weakest link, blimey O'Reilly, there wasn't a strongest link. Anyway, Liverpool, it's a shame really because I do actually quite like owning Wirtz. I like watching him. I like him as a player, but I'm watching him and I'm frustrated because, one, I'm frustrated because he's my captain and I'm thinking, come on, where's my points? You absolute moron. Get me some.
He got in so many good positions. There's one in the second half.
Passing it to Salah. Stop passing it to Salah. Have a shot, you're in a better place.
There's something about... I wish I had some stats to back this up, but I don't usually, as usual for me. I wish there was something about, like, Wirtz, like, expected big dog energy. What would that be? BDE. XBDE. This is a new stat we need to come up with, like, X talisman, right? XT. We need a bit of this. Because when the big dogs aren't there, when Salah's not there, Wirtz takes it upon himself to be big dog. Right, and we've seen that in weeks gone past. He's getting slowly more confident. There's something about Mo's presence. There's something about him being on the pitch that means that some of the others just like retreat into their shell a little bit.
They go a bit subordinate.
I don't know what it is.
They all decide they have to feed Salah. It's almost like he's gone in the dressing room and go, "You will pass me the ball."
Yeah, but I can tell you right now, it's like playing with 10 men. I hate it. I hate to say it because he's one of my favourite Liverpool players of all time, and he has given us some of the best moments of our lives.
But this happens. This happened with Christian Eriksen at Spurs. Same thing happened.
Right.
In the weeks up till he got sold, he was like a passenger. He just walked around the pitch. He was carried. And it's happening slightly differently in the Liverpool team because he's not being carried, Salah. He's just still believes he is a god. And he is.
He is. But the point is...
But it's not working anymore.
He ain't running.
No.
He ain't running. It's like playing with 10 men. And when he loses the ball now, like before...
So what happens then? Because if he's going to get dropped, I'll keep Wirtz.
Well, that's why I said, go back to the beginning of the rant 10 minutes ago. It feels like I've ranted for too long. I apologise. But if he's going to continue to play Salah, you need to sell Wirtz.
Well, I will.
But if he's not, maybe you keep him.
But I can't know that. And I've got to get Bruno before he takes 800 price rises.
I think if Wirtz is your route to Bruno, I think you just do it.
I have got other routes, but I think I'm just going to go Wirtz to Bruno and be done with it.
Anyway, we've talked too much about it. I'm sorry about that, but I had to get it off my chest. Don't get any Liverpool in FPL. I know we've got 2 home games coming up. Just don't do it to yourself. Bournemouth, though.
I've got 2
reasonable
Bournemouth
run
players.
Of fixtures. Let's have a look at these Bournemouth fixtures coming up on the Fantasy Football Scout fixture ticker. They are top of the shop right now, according to the boys and girls at Fantasy Football Scout. Wolves are way up next, which is blue, but let me tell you, that's not quite as blue as it was a few weeks ago. Villa at home, Everton away, West Ham away, Sunderland at home. The best fixtures over the next 5, according to Fantasy Football Scout. Anybody from Bournemouth catching your eye?
I got 2.
Who have you got?
I got Krupa Jr. and Senesi.
What do you think of Krupi?
Fine. I wasn't expecting a lot out of the Liverpool game. I benched him. It's fine. I also benched Senesi, who got an assist. That was lovely. Thank you very much. And I benched him because I wasn't expecting a clean sheet and etc, etc, etc. But I bought both of them for what's about to happen now because these fixtures are great.
Yeah, let's go back to modern.
Now, obviously, Bournemouth will probably sign somebody. Might that affect Krupi's minutes? Sure. But if it does...
Yeah, they're close, I think, aren't they, to add in?
Yeah, and if it does, it does. But I think he's played well over recent weeks. And, even off the bench for half an hour, that is still way better than Mark Guiu or Potts or any of these other cheap options that we've owned previously so far this season. So I'm happy to have Creepy. I wouldn't want 3 Bournemouth, so he's not taking up a spot or being a problem. So he's fine. And Senesi, look, I ran some numbers on the FPL pod last week. If you listened to it, you'll have heard me talk about it. Like DEFCONs in pretty much every game before this one. I think it was in something like he'd missed it in one of the last 9 and he got it in 17 out of 22 games. So he's basically like Tarko, starting at 4 every week.
A bit pricey there now, isn't he, Senesi? Wouldn't you just go for Hill instead, wouldn't you? James Hill's 3.9 starting every week at the minute.
Well, yeah, I know, but I didn't... What do you need the money for? Because Senesi's got the attacking threat that Hill doesn't, as we saw this week.
Hill's got an assist this week.
Over the next few... Well, that's true. Over the next few weeks, we've got decent fixtures, pretty much starting at 4. If the clean sheet lands, if the attacking returns are there, Senesi, I think, is a better pick. If you don't have $1 million, because I think it's $1 million, I think he's 4.8, then fine. Go for Hill.
Yeah, and as Danny says, he's got DEFCON 4 in the last 5 Hill as well. I think I wouldn't say he's a better pick, but I think he's better value for money.
Possibly.
Straight choice between the two.
But right now, I'm happy with Senesi. I'm really happy with him as a pick. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I still think, and I do think Krupi's the one to have. I think if you're going to play the wild card and you're going to fix that 3rd spot, maybe you've got a Guiu or whatever. I think it probably is him. Joseph's in the chat saying, I missed a super chat. I was probably mid-rant, Joseph. Let me scroll back a little bit, see if I can find it. Yes, here we go. Hi, Sam and Lee. Hello, mate. I think slots time is limited. You might be right, mate. You might be right. But the senior players aren't helping. Van Dijk and Salah are downing tools. Mate, I think you're spot on. And that was a key part of that rant I had there, was that I don't know if they're downing tools or as much as I just think it might be catching up with them.
But Salah's, it's not over, like, I'm convinced that nothing got fixed. They just sort of had a little conversation.
Maybe.
He played a little bit of time against Brighton and then he buggered off to AFCON and now he's come back and expects everything to be hunky-dory. Well, it's not, I'm afraid.
Maybe.
Liverpool moved on in your absence.
Somebody summed it up to me, and I can't take credit for this, but I was speaking to somebody on text earlier and they just said, well, under Klopp, I don't want to keep comparing it to Klopp, but we have to. Under Klopp, we had players and a team that was running at, it was heavy metal football, wasn't it? It was press, and it was like so high energy. That actually having someone like Van Dijk there to be like, just calm for a minute, because we all have the calm as you like Virgil van Dijk song, don't we?
Yeah.
By the way, when was the last time you heard a Liverpool song being sung about a Liverpool player? It's not happening. That's a really bad sign. But we used to have this heavy metal football, and we'd have this calming influence of Van Dijk. When we needed it, he'd just go, right, chill, boys. And we'd all go, okay, no problem, it's 2-0. He's told us to be calm. Now, the heavy metal football's gone, and we're playing this kind of lethargic, sort of passive football where we're not pressing anywhere near as highly. And then we're laying Van Dijk's calmness on top of that. We're like...
You're asleep.
We're asleep half the time.
Sleepwalking.
We are sleepwalking. I've said it for about 18 months. We're sleepwalking to the point where we go 2-0 down in games like this and make individual errors. It is incredibly bad right now. Incredibly bad.
From one rant to another?
Well, no, we'll save you a lot. We'll save you a lot.
For what? What are we saving it for?
Well, go on then. We'll do it then.
What the hell are we saving it for? It weren't good, was it?
I was just thinking, Sam, of our audience, and I was thinking the fact that they've had to sit there and listen to me rant for half hour about Liverpool. You might do the same about your lot.
I won't rant. I might cry.
Yeah, go on then. Burnley 2, Spurs 2, bloody hell, Tottenham Hotspur. Go on.
The best thing about this was that we had more shots than any other team in the league this week. 18 of them. We had 18 shots.
Did you?
Dubravka pulls out a 5-pointer despite conceding twice because we've made so many saves this week.
Yeah.
We actually weren't bad in attack, but my Christ, can we not defend? It is infuriating. Like, Van de Ven, that is his 7th goal.
If they could defend like they attack them two, they'd be decent.
When the team sheet came out, I was like, oh my God, he's learnt something here. He has learnt from midweek when we were bloody brilliant on Tuesday night. I sat in the stands on Tuesday night. Do you know, the first 5 minutes of that game, talking about not singing songs, we sang the Dele Alli song. We sang about Mauricio Pochettino. We sang about Harry Kane.
They still
honestly,
the good old days again.
The good old days were back. We're talking about Super Yang Vertonghen. That came up. There was about, and somebody else as well. 5 songs in about the first 5-10 minutes of that game. We sang about every other legend of the club, and then we came back to the team that were playing in front of us and thought, my God, this is crap. But actually, we played really well on Tuesday. The team sheet comes out for yesterday, and I'm like, right, okay, Jed Spencer's got this freedom again. Good. That worked well in midweek. Xavi, this should help. Great. Actually, I thought Xavi was good. So let's take some positives. Xavi was good in this game. That's 2 games in a row that he's been good. Didn't get bullied out of it by Burnley, and I thought he might. But he didn't. In attack, we actually didn't look too bad. Dom Solanke being back is really helpful. He is working hard. He's not an FPL asset, do not buy him. But he is working hard. And he is the one, there was a couple of moments where he put lovely balls through and I thought we were going to get something from them. No, not quite.
As a neutral, and from what I saw on Match Today and others, I would agree with that. I would say there was some passages of play, there was attacking patterns from Spurs that I thought, they're getting their act together.
It's coming.
Bit.
It's coming.
And Solanke being back as a focal point makes him you can't.
No, you can't tell.
It makes a massive difference.
Yeah.
Because the way that he holds it up, the way that he brings others into play, just Richarlison just doesn't do that, right? And Richarlison just sits and waits for it.
Not just Cunha Moani.
Whereas Solanke being back makes a massive... Some of the patterns of play I thought were good. And actually, I think you're spot on. There's a reason... Dubravka, look, 9 saves, and also if we scroll down a little bit, 26 on the underlying BPS, which is 3rd after Erdebert and Romero. So Dubravka was good enough for a bonus point this week, even though they conceded 2. So actually, attacking-wise, Spurs were a lot better, and I think they just come up against a very good goalkeeper in good form. But
we had 18 shots. The next best was Villa, who had 4 less, 14.
Yeah.
So in attack, actually, for a change, this was decent.
It was all right. It's just Burnley, but it was all right.
It was fine. The problem we had this week was defensively. Now, in part, I think that's because Mickey, it's an individual mistake for the first goal. Okay, they happen, right? That happens. Go on, fix it, carry on. But we sort of don't. Then we concede again, and then we're chasing our tail. And then Romero does this thing that Romero does, which infuriates me, which is decide he's going to play number 9. And he stays up there, and then we're not defending well. We actually could have conceded. At the back end of this game, anyone could have won it. It was like back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. Anybody. Vicario makes a fantastic save late on. They could easily have won this game. So I come out of it and I feel 2 types of way about it. One, I see some positives. The attacking was good. We looked a lot better. It's nice to have Solanke back. The negative is that this defence, who have got two of the best centre-backs around, Mickey van der Ven is phenomenal, and Christian Romero, for his country, is an unbelievable defender. So together, they should be able to defend. Part of the issue, I think, is that we keep changing up how we're asking them to play. Sometimes it's like, we'll stick Danso with you and you play a back three with the two, with Porro and Udogie or whoever they're going to do on those wing positions there. Yeah. And then sometimes they go, actually, we're not doing that. Danso, you're not playing. And instead we're going to put you two as centre-backs. And then there's this sort of like, when are we going? When are we staying? I feel like they're a bit unsure. I don't think that Frank is doing a very good job coaching the defensive stuff. And that is why he was hired in the first place. And that's what pisses me off. Because he's supposed to be this... We've gone from Ange Ball, kamikaze suicidal, and they decided they didn't want that. They wanted us to be defensively solid. Yeah. Well, we're not.
Yeah, the shape as well. They did a couple of bits on Match of the Day about the shape is just all over the place.
They don't know where they are.
They're not in a line from set pieces. There was one freeze frame they did on Match of the Day where there's they were in like a diamond shape.
They don't know where they are, Lee.
And it was just like, what are you playing at? Like there's no, doesn't seem to be any, like for everything Romero is, right, in terms of an attacking threat. And by the way, it's a fantastic header, by the way, because the way that he's got to like. He's not just got to dive, but he's got to get the neck muscles. Have got to like. He's got to turn. He's got to get the power on that header. I thought it was a phenomenal header. And for everything, with the clearances and the blocks and all that, he's a top defender from that perspective. I don't think he's a very intelligent footballer, Romero.
No.
Like, I don't think he's like. You see some of these centre halves and they're just like telling people where to go and where the line should be, and getting it. Like Maguire's good at that, isn't he? For everything you say about Maguire, he's a very good organiser, right? That's why United often look better when he plays, because he's just like, right, I'm not the best, but you guys are pretty good. Do what I say and we'll be all right. Well, Romero isn't. He's not that.
No, but that Mickey does that, but only when Romero doesn't play. So when Mickey's wearing the captain's armband and Romero's not there, Mickey commands the back line. And that's really interesting to watch, because he will tell you, step up, go back, drop here, go there, do this. Romero doesn't do that. Romero plays Romero's game, which is sort of fine if everybody else knows what they're doing and does it together. If you've been playing together for years and years and years and you know what each other's going to do, it's fine. But we're also struggling a little bit with, like, Gallagher's come in. I like him. He's decent. There's some leadership there. There's some pressing. It's good. But we're missing the people that used to be in front of Romero and Van der Ven. So all of this stuff...
Okay.
And Basuma's come back and is back in the team. And again, I like him. It's good. But it's not what we were used to. So all of these changes of personnel, in my mind, it's not helping us. But I do feel like we were a little bit unlucky in this one. Having said that, Burnley, Dubravka, he was phenomenal.
He's very good, wasn't he? Yeah, 2 weeks in a row he's been very good. But the fixtures do not get any better for Spurs. So... It is Man City, Man United, Newcastle, Arsenal up next, followed by Fulham away. They are bottom of the ticker, according to Fantasy Football Scout, over the next 5. So we are not investing, Sam, I don't think. We are not investing, not yet anyway. I'm very interested to see what happens when Kudus comes back and you get Solanke and Kudus together. That, for me, sounds potent.
And where's Kulusevski? Christ.
We'll see.
Get him back.
Yeah, all right. What else do we want to discuss? We should probably discuss West Ham 3, Sunderland 1, because, I don't know, West Ham on a bit of a revival here. A goal and assist for Bowen. I thought Somerville took his goal very well. And Matthias Fernandes, I mean, that is a strike, by the way. The one thing I will say, and again, didn't watch this game because out and about, but the bits that I saw on Match of the Day, I did think that Tati makes a big difference, right? I don't know much about this player. He's come into the league. I probably need to do a bit of research on him. But just him being there and having a bit of presence in that 9 just means their shape is just better. And it means that Bowen, importantly, doesn't have to play there, so he can play where he prefers to play. And I just think their shape looked a lot better in this game.
I do think they've signed. I think they've signed well. They've got players back from AFCON, that helps.
Yeah.
But I will caveat this with, and I said this to you, Xhaka being out for Sunderland is...
That was big, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I didn't know that until... So I had no goalkeeper headache because I was always going to play Roos against West Ham because Sunderland... They're better, Sunderland, than Burnley.
Yeah.
However, when the deadline passed and then the Haaland drama had settled, And then the Xhaka not being there thing, I don't know if it was out before, but I definitely didn't see it. And I was like, I said to you, didn't I? I think that's a real problem. I think that's a really big issue for Sunderland.
He's been big for them, yeah, no doubt.
He's been big for them.
No doubt.
But it's not just the job he does, it's the leadership. And it's that, like, I don't know. And it proved to be, like, losing him, I think, is going to be really... you got to hope for Sunderland's sake he's not out for too long.
Do you think... It's got to be more to it than that, though, isn't there? Is it?
Well,
or
from
is
a
it just
Sunderland
that
perspective,
Xhaka's-
I think it's
Xhaka's
both.
not
I think
there?
it's what you said. I think West Ham took a lot of heart from what happened last weekend. The late win against Spurs last weekend would have absolutely bolstered them.
Yeah.
They've made a couple of good signings. They've got players back from AFCON, so they're starting to look and feel a bit better. There's physically more people in the dressing room to choose from. That's helpful. Competition for places.
What
bit of
their
team
fixtures
effort.
like? Let's have a look. It's Chelsea away next, Burnley away, United, Bournemouth, and Liverpool. It's not the easiest one, is it?
No. And I think they will have gone into this game in particular, the kind of the newly promoted versus each other. These are the games that West Ham will have looked at and gone, Sunderland, Burnley, Leeds, Wolves. We have to win those games. If we're going to get out of the bottom 3, we have to win those games. And they did. And I think maybe it's helped them that Sunderland didn't have Xhaka and the impact that has. Yeah. And they're in a moment. But I don't think you're going to invest in West Ham because of the fixtures.
Yeah.
But there you are.
If you got Mukiele, this guy just finds ways to get points, doesn't he?
Roots to points.
Like, he doesn't mind a DEFCON. He gets the odd assists. Obviously, at home, they're very, very good, Sunderland. They keep clean sheets. Like, at 4-5, I mean, I know you've got Alderete just right there for 4-1, but I think at 4-5, I probably would spend a bit more on Mukiele, wouldn't you? He's probably worth it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, just gets points, doesn't he? He
Yeah.
just gets points. Right, let's have a look. Where else do we want to go? Is there anything else happening today that we should discuss? Right, Brentford 0, Forest 2. Should we go on that as one that I wasn't expecting?
We did watch this one. This one was the game we chose.
What do you make of this one then? Forest, much improved, right? Very good.
Much better. They were good last week though, weren't they? Against Arsenal, they were
very good.
defensively solid.
Just
don't
tell the audience what I said about Awoniyi when he was through on goal.
Do you want to hear a funny story? When you goes through on goal, and Lee's like, he's got no product.
He smiles out. I'm just like, he ain't scoring from there.
He's got no
Forget
product. He's got no product, Sam. He's got no product. And he's running. And I'm like, and he had somebody with him, didn't he? He was in the box. And I was like, maybe he doesn't need end product. He's got someone with him who just passes it across. And Lee goes, he's got no end product. Bang. Bottom corner.
Corner.
And he just looked
Good
at me
finish.
and we both collapsed laughing. And Evie was in the room with us. And she was like, what's happening? Why are you finding it so funny? What is going on here? It was honestly brilliant.
Ex-Liverpool, of course, so I was just like, well, I don't know. There's something about his time at Liverpool where I just didn't think he had much of a finish on him, so...
Well, he did today.
He's obviously improved.
What do you do about Thiago now? Because for most managers, this was the game. Because around this, the fixture's toughened now for Brentford. This was the game that everyone was like, you have to have Thiago for. And I'll be frank. Actually, I don't want to be frank. Don't like him.
I'll be slot.
Don't like him. I'll be honest. I was worried about Thiago today.
Yeah.
So I didn't have Thiago. I went for good old Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I'm actually hoping he might be ill and Mickey van der Ven might come off my bench. But if he's not ill and he plays, and he's got to get a hat-trick against his old side. But I was worried about Thiago. He was the player this week that I didn't have, that I thought,
same.
That one.
Same.
Even more than Bruno, I was like, Thiago, the fixture's good. He's good at home. Brentford are good at home. Yeah.
Weren't today, though, were they, Brentford? Sorry to tell you, George. I'm sure George would agree.
Well, George was there.
They weren't at it at all today, Brentford, right? And I don't know whether... I noticed Hendo come on late in the game, and
You can't keep...
of course I can.
You can't keep on with this Hendo narrative all the time.
Hey, listen, if we're any more crap in the next few weeks, we'll have Hendo back. Thanks very much. We'll keep
Well,
him.
next
We're already
thing you know,
keeping
you'll be trying to
Robbo.
get James Milner back.
Bring him back. Bring him back.
Who else do you want back?
We need a bit of character back. I'll get Simicast back from loan. Get him in.
He was supposed to be coming back from loan.
I hope he does.
I think Sodja Robertson, you keep him. I'll have Simicast. We could do with the vibes.
Darwin Núñez back at Liverpool.
Who else do you want
I'll
back?
have
Get
to take
Mane
at the
back.
minute. Just characters.
Get
We
Mane
need
back.
character.
Who else do you want back?
That's what the chat are saying. Get Mane back. Gerrard back. Get Gerrard back. Guys, don't take the piss out of me, please. I'm feeling a bit weak and vulnerable about Liverpool. Please don't take
Who
the piss
else
out
do you
of
want
me.
back?
Hendo for sure. Anyway, so listen, Brentford weren't at it, right? And let's have a look at their fixtures. As you rightly say, the Brentford fixtures do not get any easier, right? It is... God, why do I make this so small on here? Can you guys even read this? Let us know in the chat. Can you even read this bloody slide? I don't need to change it. Villa away, Newcastle away, Arsenal at home, right? Next three look very, very difficult before they play Brighton and Burnley, which in and of itself could be interesting games. But those next three don't scream goals for Brentford to me. So
is he a sell? Or do you have to hold him because there's no other blimmin' forwards in the game?
Well, this is the thing. In most other seasons, I'd say yes, you can sell. Yes, you can sell. But to whom are you going to sell? That is the question. And to that end, maybe we just move it straight on from Brentford and Forest. I don't feel like we've given it much airtime, that game, but it's probably about as much as it deserves. And move on to Palace 1, Chelsea 3, because... Listen, and I'm going to flick straight back to the fixture ticker. Sorry, podcasters, but for the YouTubers, the Chelsea fixtures for the next four look like this, in case you're under a rock, because most of you will know this already. Right? West Ham at home, who are improving. We've just talked about that. They're improving. Wolves away, who... Are improving. We've just discussed that. Leeds at home, Burnley at home, before that Arsenal game in game week 28. But nevertheless, 3 of the next 4 for Chelsea at home with Wolves away in game week 25, the only away game in the next 4. That is an unbelievable run, and a lot of FPL managers for sure would have chucked Palace on the end of this or at the start of it and gone, well, I'm going to go early. And if you did, fair play, because if you got Enzo early, you got the goal. If you went for João Pedro for whatever reason, you get a bit of a haul this week. But unlucky if you went for the defence. But now, from this week, you've got to have some Chelsea, haven't you? Got to.
But...
Oh, come on.
I mean, I've got Enzo, happy. But Champions League this week, big game. League Cup semi-final next week, around these nice fixtures. So you got Champions League, then the good fixture. League Cup semi-final.
Aren't they away in Napoli as well in the week?
Yeah.
It's a really hard game.
They've got to go to Napoli, and then they've got the return leg of the Arsenal game in the EFL Cup, which they've got to win if they want to make the final. So
Napoli midweek, Wolves at the weekend at home, then
Arsenal,
okay,
and then West Ham. So those fixtures, the Wolves and West Ham games, they are the games that I think that there is... If there's going to be some rotation, it's going to be in those Premier League games.
Won't there? There will, for sure. And,
so you have
to
be mindful.
That's the problem with players like João Pedro, isn't it?
Exactly, and that was going to be the point. So I think if you've got an Enzo Fernandez, you're probably fine. By the way, Esteval today, excellent. Oh, he was excellent.
Chelsea fans, tell me what you think about Esteval. This kid, he looks a bit special, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a proper baller.
He looks a bit good.
But João Pedro, I think, he's one of those that managers will look at this week because he's done well today. Bit of a haul.
Yeah.
And they will look at him and they will go, okay, well, the Chelsea fixtures, because if you just look at it in the app, the Chelsea fixtures look great. And they are. They are great. However, you've got the rotation around the EFL Cup and the Champions League. Now, they have Liam Delap sat right there. So there is no reason why João Pedro could not be rested. It might be that he gets rested in the Champions League and he plays Delap in that. Possible. But I do think that there'll be some rotation around that position. So if you are going to invest in Chelsea, do it carefully.
He's currently the most transferred in so far this
João
game
Pedro.
week, Sam. Yeah, I know we're early on into this game week, but he's 106%. According to, this is another nice feature. If you guys can see this, there's another nice feature on the Fantasy Football Scout website. So if you go to the Fantasy Football Scout website where they do the Scout picks, most of you will know where the Scout picks are. And by the way, if you're not a member over at Scout yet, links in the description below. Never too late in the season to become a member over at Scout. They're doing a
7-day free trial on it at the minute.
Absolutely doing God's work over there, season in, season out. That is the Scout picks that I use every single week. And if you scroll down a little bit, here is, which is new for this season, the price change predictions. And you can go to risers or fallers and you can see whether the players that you own or that you want to get are going to go up 0.1 or down 0.1. You guys know how it works, right? And right now at the top you can see there, right? Who's leading? João Pedro, then it's Mbeumo, then Enzo, Dorgu, Semenyo. So João Pedro, yeah, already Sam, popular.
But I'm just would caveat, I am not convinced that he starts all 4 of those games by any stretch.
Might that be okay, though? Might that be okay?
What?
Like, if João Pedro gets 3 out of 4 games in the Premier League on that next 4 and gets a few minutes, it's probably still okay, isn't it? I don't know. I mean,
but what if he doesn't? What if he plays
in a world
him...
where we're struggling for forwards?
What if
I
he
can
plays
understand
him...
it.
My concern is he plays them away in Napoli midweek. It's a very, very difficult home game, and Chelsea need the win.
Yeah.
So away game rather, and Chelsea need the win. So he plays João Pedro in that one, and he probably plays him for 70, 80 minutes, and then maybe Delap comes on for the end of the game. Roll forward to the weekend, you'd expect to reverse in that. So maybe João Pedro gets 10, 20 minutes at the weekend. Go into the midweek. They have to beat Arsenal because they're behind. So we go into that game. João Pedro starts, I think, because I think he's his preferred. So João Pedro starts that game, plays 70, 80 minutes. Delap comes on again. Then surely it's reversed again. It's difficult to know, but my concern would be there is a good chance that he doesn't start either the West Ham or the Wolves games.
I still might go there.
Why?
I still might go there because of lack of other options. Honestly, I just think he's over the next 4. He will get points. He might not get all the minutes, but I still think he'll get some points. He's a streaky player, and he's on a little bit of a streak now. And the good thing about it is that if you over the next 4, if it doesn't work out, you can bin him before that Arsenal game and almost go sideways back to Thiago if you wanted to. And by then, Brentford's fixtures start to improve a little bit.
Yeah.
I think just for the next 4 weeks, it's probably okay. But just be conscious that by the time that Arsenal game rolls around, you might want rid of him. But I think it's an okay transfer. I honestly do. So that's Palace 1, Chelsea. We can't really say much about Palace, can we? It's just a mess, isn't it, at the minute?
Do you know, they actually had the third most shots
in the
game week.
Okay.
Because I was surprised to see that. It was Spurs, then Villa, and then Palace. So they actually were creative, but they're a mess.
All right.
And
Wharton
Munoz
getting sent
back.
off as well?
They had Munoz back, now they're without Wharton.
Yeah.
Difficult.
Yeah, okay. All right. That's probably it, isn't it? Newcastle 0, Villa 2. Just quickly do that. Morgan Rogers masterclass from what I saw. I know he only got the assist, but he did get quite a lot of defcons in this game. 14 defensive contributions, which is enough, of course, as a midfielder for him to get the additional 2 points. So a very good all-round performance. So despite only getting an assist in those over the course of those 2 goals, from what I saw on X, from what I saw some of those limited highlights I've seen this game, it was an all-action performance from what I understand.
Again.
Very good.
Yeah, played well again.
Yeah, very good.
Bruno Guimaraes, no, not there for Newcastle, obviously, with the injury that he picked up in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Big miss.
Yeah, if you had like a Anthony Gordon, you'd be selling now, wouldn't you? If you had a Bruno Guimaraes, would you be holding?
Wait, I guess we have to wait and see. He's yellow flagged, isn't he? So let's see when we're going to get some more insight in midweek, right? I don't see any value in Anthony Gordon.
All right. Ollie Watkins? Not at the moment.
I'm not inspired by Ollie Watkins.
Okay.
But then there is no one else in the forward line, so if you want to go there, then fair enough.
Yeah, maybe. All right, let's get on to scores. Shall I go first or you this week?
I'll go first, go on.
Go on then. 39 this week. Talk us through it. 39.
The defence has massively let me down. Wrong goalkeeper again. It's 2 weeks in a row. Timber and Gabriel with nothing each is very annoying. Well, 1 each, basically nothing. Gahey fine with 6. That was good. The first of my midfielders, Enzo, Semenyo and Rogers all picking up 8 is lovely. Wrong captain with Wirtz. I think if I'd have had more than 4 minutes to think about where I moved it, I might have done something different. Having said that, it is what it is.
Okay.
Rice with 1. Okay. And then the forward line, again, if I'd not been an idiot, I'd have just put Haaland to the bench and played Mickey, and that would have made a massive difference, because then I think at the moment Live FPL has me needing 2 points for a green arrow.
Okay.
So obviously had I played Mickey van der Ven over Haaland, then it's another green. We still do have Dominic Calvert-Lewin to go tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So anything from him that wipes out the Everton clean sheet, and this arrow will be green.
Interesting, that, isn't it? Because I've got one to go as well, and it's Tarko.
Yeah. I don't mind if Dominic Calvert-Lewin don't want to play, because then Mickey can come on.
I'm kind of surprised that... so you didn't have much time, but to play Haaland and not put Van der Ven in, or even Senesi.
I just... honestly, I think I panicked, because I wasn't in the headspace for it. I was upstairs doing something else. I ran downstairs. I moved the captain's armband. I thought about Max. I tried to be a good mum and check his team. And then by the time I thought, right, bench Haaland, I went back to do it, and the deadline had gone. And so it's one of those, isn't it, where on reflection, is it stupid? Yes, absolutely. Having said that, could he have come off the bench as he did and get something? Well, yeah, he could have. So I don't know. On reflection, it's stupid. But we are where we are. I thought Spurs would concede to Burnley. That's why I benched Mickey over Gahey in the first place. And I did think about benching Rodgers. That would have been a mistake. I did think about benching Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We're about to find out if that would have been a mistake. But it was the fact that he is playing Everton that made me want to play him this week.
Yeah, I considered benching Rodgers, not going to lie. Yeah, I didn't, but I nearly did. Team for next week then. How's it looking? I assume it's in reasonable shape because he played the wildcard recently. I'm interested to hear about the bus captain being on Enzo Fernandez. Talk us through that one.
Well, I don't like any of them for the captaincy because the player that I want to captain is probably Bruno Fernandes, who I don't have in there yet. So my planned transfer this week, I probably am going to still follow through on the Wirtz to Bruno thing. That feels like the transfer that I'm going to make. And then I'll give Bruno Fernandes the captain's armband for the week. Otherwise, I quite like it. I think I might... the bench is a bit of an issue again. I look at it and I'm like... I've got Roofs and Dubravka playing each other. I don't know really which one is the best one to play.
Oh, Sunderland home. You Sunderland home. What do you mean? That's easy.
I think so.
That's easy.
But without
please.
Xhaka, don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going with Roofs again. So that
Roofs,
means if you've got Dubravka, you should play him because I'm benching him. So therefore,
Sure.
Senesi I want to play because it's Wolves. But that means Mickey and Gahey are facing each other and are currently both on the bench. I could bench Krupi. I have no objections to benching Calvert-Lewin this week against Arsenal. That's fine. I could bench Krupi and play one of Gahey and Van der Ven.
Tricky game that for Bournemouth, going away to Wolves.
Yeah, so that's why I might not end up playing Krupi. I might end up playing in a Christmas tree. In a sort of Christmas tree. 4-5-1 probably. A weird-shaped tree. But I don't know who I would play out of Van der Ven and Gahey because I actually don't think either of them will keep a clean sheet. Okay. Again, we actually generally do quite well against Manchester City. We yet to play them under Frank, so we'll find out. But we generally do quite at home anyway. Do quite well against them. So, Mickey is our top goal scorer.
Yeah, I just think the way that you're playing defensively,
they'll score.
Yeah, which is why I think having a captaincy on either Semenyo or Haaland is probably going to be
over Bruno Fernandes.
Well, so that was going to be my next question. Is I don't mind going against Haaland for this week. I don't think it would be with Enzo though, although I don't mind it. But if I was going to go against it, probably would be with Bruno. You don't have him yet, but I assume therefore that means you're going to get him. Yeah,
Wirtz to Bruno captain probably.
Wirtz to Bruno captain.
I have got another. Okay. I've got 2 free transfers, so there is also the potential that I go for another Manchester United option. Probably Dorgu, but we'll have to obviously wait for news on that. But Bruno's definitely coming in. It'll be Wirtz to Bruno, and then I'll see how the land lies with that other transfer because having 2 again for the week after, when we've got understanding of the EFL Cup and maybe where their rearranged schedule goes, that's probably quite a nice place to be. Like I'd like to start building up my transfers if possible, so that as I get closer to the doubles, I'm in a better place to react.
Yeah. All right. Very good. Okay, for me this week, it's 49 with 1 to go. Playing 5 at the back was a bit odd. Never usually do that in FPL, but here we are, given that I benched Haaland. Tarkowski's still to go, but 49 feels okay.
Who did you bring on for Haaland?
Who did I bring on for Haaland? O'Reilly. I wasn't going to play O'Reilly.
So just for my understanding, because I thought you did the Semenyo Foden thing on Saturday, but you can't have because you've got 4. So you must have done the Semenyo to Foden thing.
I did this
on Monday.
Foden to Semenyo I did ages ago.
Yeah, you must
I did
have done
that ages ago.
At the beginning of the week because...
Yeah. Before Gahey become a City player.
I was going to say, because otherwise you would have been forced to have...
That's part of the reason I'd done it, actually, was because I thought, well, it won't allow me to do it. And this was at the time when Gahey pretty much had his picture, he's signing the bit of paper, and I just thought, well...
Before they had him
if I don't do it now, by the time FPL change him over, I won't be able to do Foden to Semenyo. It's going to make me do somebody else. Yeah. So I did it, when Gay was signing the paper, that's when I did it a few days ago. Yeah. So I had 4 City going into this, but of course I heard the Haaland news, so Haaland dropped to the bench. Glad I did the Foden to Semenyo, obviously, with the 8-pointer. I'm pretty happy to have him going forward. Yeah, I think he looks pretty locked in the league, at least, until they can add him to the Champions League squad. Obviously, the double Arsenal defence doesn't come off this week, but I don't think I'm struggling. I don't think I'm going to be too panicky about that. We've got to see how Tarkowski does. Mr. Wilson is saving the day again, isn't he? I mean, flipping
He's
heck.
the difference, really, again,
yeah,
isn't he?
totally. I mean, Rodgers coming in with 8 is good. There's the Dubravka masterclass against Spurs with the 5, given he's conceded 2 goals. He's pretty welcome as well. But Wilson coming in with the 10, particularly, and listen, I'm probably due a bit of jam, really, because, again, it was a very low XG. I mean, here we go with the narrative of him overperforming his XG, which he is massively. He is massively. But... listen, I'm not complaining. He just keeps pulling these worldies out the bag from nowhere. And a 10-pointer, I'm very, very welcome indeed, Harry. Very, very welcome indeed. My only regret, if I have one, is that when I heard the news about Haaland being benched, that I didn't move my captaincy to Semenyo.
Yeah, I know.
I had about 4 minutes and I was like, right, one of the two. Probably my Liverpool blinkers got me a little bit and I went for Ekitike captain. Should have gone for Semenyo. But either way... that's a what is that? That's a 17.4% green arrow. So game week rank of 2.7, so up to just over 700k with Tarko to go. It's like, I want to say it's fine. It's not. It's still crap, isn't it? But I'm just like floating around this area. I've been floating around it for ages. I need something to take me to the next level. And when I look at my team for next week, it doesn't look like a team that's going to take me to the next level, right? With Wilson away at Manchester United, there's a
lot of away fixtures in your team.
There's a lot of away fixtures, and there's a lot of players that I don't want anymore. I don't really want Ekitike anymore. I know we've got back-to-back home games, but I don't really want him. I've got to make a Man City sub at some stage because I've got the 4.
Well, any sub that you make now will force you to do Man City first. Yeah.
So here is my conundrum, right? Is that if I want Bruno Fernandes this week, which I do, 100%.
Okay. Well, you don't want to go Semenyo.
I don't want to take Semenyo out.
Correct.
So
O'Reilly's got to go as well. So you've got to use 2 transfers, right?
So straight away I'm using 2. Straight off the bat to get Bruno. I've got to spend 2. And O'Reilly to Dorgu looks pretty good. Assuming that you guys are right about the cramp and all the rest of it. Right? I'm going to have a look at that in a minute. But assuming he's all right, then doing Fernandes and Dorgu in looks pretty good. Now, the player that I would like to take out for Bruno Fernandes. And let me just, I think I set this slide up just before I came on. Let me do this. So this is something that I shared last week in terms, because I was thinking about playing my wildcard for 23. I am also now considering it for 24 as well. I'm considering it this week. And if I did do it this week, it would have a similar sort of vibe to last week, but there are a couple of differences, right? So, clearly, Potts to Bruno Fernandes was high on the agenda for last week. It's high on the agenda for this week. And to do that, largely, I would make a sacrifice by taking Saka down to Rice. And I would do O'Reilly to Dorgu. Just those 2 transfers, with a little bit in the bank, would be enough for me to get Bruno Fernandes.
Those 3 transfers.
So I could just do those 3 transfers.
Okay.
So spend 3 transfers, that would be okay. But it would still leave me going into this nice run for Chelsea with no Chelsea.
But you have got 4 free transfers.
I have got 4 free transfers.
You could use all 4.
So I could use all 4. You're right. Funny, you could be reading my slide.
I can't see that. Crumbs.
So the other option that I could do is I could take Ekitike over to João Pedro. That's one I could definitely do.
Okay.
So then the question becomes, how much then do I want Enzo Fernandez? And do I want him enough over Harry Wilson in the next 4? Now, what I did do is I had a look at, before I came on, the fixture ticker. And if you look at, and again, this is just if I look at just the next 4, we've already spoken about Chelsea's next 4, right? West Ham, Wolves, Leeds and Burnley. That looks like a run where I want in on Chelsea. I've got 0 right now. And I'm trying to make some moves. If I was to spend 4 transfers, I could get to João Pedro. If I spent 5 transfers and a -4, I could get to João Pedro and Enzo Fernandez. Still with me, just about? So I could do 5 transfers this week. And it would just be for 4 game weeks, right? That Enzo and João Pedro. Probably Enzo might stay a bit longer term. This is my thinking. But going back to what we said before, João Pedro for 4 weeks. I'm not against it. Yes, he's a rotation risk. Will he start every game? No. But could he be all right for 4 weeks? Could be all right. And Fulham's next 4, by the way. Manchester United away, Everton, Man City away, Sunderland away. 3 difficult away games there. Mm-hmm. With, Everton at home in 25. Not easy, but you'd say you'd back them, right? But 3 difficult away games. For the next 4 weeks, how much do I want Enzo Fernandez for that 4 weeks? And my sacrifice is Harry Wilson. So let's go back to this. Let's go back to...
Well, I was in a position the same as you, sort of, last week when I was playing my wild card, because I was kind of like, I want Harry Wilson mostly because it's really peeing me off how many points that kid is returning constantly and how much it's affecting me. But I really wanted Enzo.
Yeah.
And over the last 2 weeks, Enzo has been the better pick. All right, Harry Wilson gets the 10-pointer this week, but he has been the better pick. And with the fixtures that they have coming up, and the fact that if Cole Palmer's not in, and clearly there's something wrong with Cole Palmer, then he's on penalties. And he's so involved in everything that they do and so important to the way that they play, especially without Palmer there, that he's not going to be rotated very much.
I worry that I get to the end of this 4-game run for Chelsea and go,
should have got Enzo.
Bloody obvious, wasn't it? Get Enzo Fernandez. He's in the 10, he's on pens, and they've got 4 really nice games. What are you thinking, not getting Enzo? Now, João Pedro, I'm with you. I take it or leave it. I think it's a fine transfer in if you want to do it. If you're against it, I'm cool with that as well. But Enzo feels like, yeah, it's just bloody obvious, isn't it? So my sacrifice is Wilson. I don't like it because Wilson's been very, very good to me. But I have to play FPL with my head a little bit here and say, well, over the next 4, I've got to play the fixtures. Chelsea are unbelievable. Fulham's are difficult. I'm not saying goodbye to Harry Wilson forever. And if I want to reverse it 4 weeks from now, I can, because Enzo's more expensive than Harry Wilson. So if I do it for 4 weeks, even if I just do it for 4 weeks and then transfer it back 4 weeks from now, that's possible.
We'd have exactly the same midfield.
But I think that's going to be a very template-looking midfield for the next few weeks, don't you? I think it's going to be pretty template. My differential is João Pedro a little bit. And then what I did, so when I was putting this together, I thought, well, if I did do all of that and I spent 5 transfers and did a hit,
hold your wild card.
Why would I just not do the wild card?
No, because it holds your wild card.
I just would do the wild card then.
But 5 transfers I don't think is that really enough to use a wild card?
Well, it's so the scenario is I could do 5 transfers and a hit, or I just play the wild card, do all of them, roll 4 transfers through, remember? And the wildcard enables me to get Sanchez, and I can do GUI to Krupi Jr. as well to sort out a couple of other issues in my team. That would leave me with the team on the screen right now. So for the podcasters, that would be Sanchez and Dubravka in goal. This would be my wildcard team for 24. Sanchez and Dubravka. It would be Gabriel, Timber, Gahey, Tarko, and Dorgu. Rice, Semenyo, Rogers, Bruno Fernandes, Enzo Fernandez, João Pedro, Haaland, Krupi Jr. Now, here's the kicker. I'm really for this, by the way. I'm more likely to do this than not in wildcard this week. And here's the kicker, is that if you go back to the price change prediction thing on Fantasy Football Scout, João Pedro going up tonight, Enzo going up tonight, Dorgu going up tonight. I want to look at the fallers, Ekitike going down tonight. So if I don't do this, if I don't make a quick decision on this tonight, I'm going to be -4. I'm going to be 0.4, 0.5 down by tomorrow. And then I can't make this happen. Because this team that you can see on screen right now has got 0.1 in the bank. So if I want this team, I've got a wild card tonight. And I think I'm going to do it.
You haven't got a wild card tonight. You could make your transfers without hitting the wild card button to cover all of that. And then you could think about it over the week. And if you do decide you want to do the others because price rises or whatever, you hit the wildcard button on Tuesday, Wednesday. And you would still have those 4 free transfers coming out of it.
Yeah, maybe.
It's up to you.
Maybe. But I want to catch these. I've got to catch these price rises tonight. So tonight there is going to be some activity on my team. You're right. Maybe it's just transfers and I hit the wildcard later in the week. But I'd love to know, guys. Get in the comments. Let us know in the live chat. Would you do that or not do that this week? Wildcard, yes. Wildcard, no. What are you saying? There's a lot of hearts in the chat. People saying do it. There's a lot. Annie Cass is. I'm with Sam. You need to do it the way Sam's doing it. Heather's saying do it with Sam. So when you say I'm with Sam, folks, does that mean you just do the transfers and the wildcard later?
You've
or you
got
just do
4. So it's not going to massively. It's not a problem for you to activate the wildcard later. I think you're in a place with your team where feasibly the 5 free transfers. I think you
I've got 4.
Yeah, I know, but you have 4. You have a power play here at the moment in that you have a wildcard chip that could be so pivotal. You keep talking about ways to change your season.
Yep.
And I think having a wildcard still with you by game week 30 is game changing. I did not have that luxury because my team was absolutely in the mud. I had no choice and had no transfers and it was a disaster. You are in a place where with using all your 4-3-1s, you can make pretty much... You
the
can't change,
wildcard team.
You cannot change the GUs and all of that crap.
Yeah.
But you don't need to because you're not going to bench
Verbruggen.
boost. And you'd have to stick with Verbruggen. But okay, fine. And if you did 5 transfers and took a -4, you've set yourself up, arguably, for the next...
However long.
For however long. At least for the next 5-6 weeks. And at that moment, you take yourself to game week... You get to game week 30, where a lot of people will not have a wild card. And then we're all trying to plan for blanks and doubles, and you've got the wild card available. I think that is such a powerful thing to have.
Yeah, you could be right.
I get what you're saying.
You could be right.
You could get there with 5 free transfers again. But everyone's getting there with 5 free transfers, probably, because most people are just going to keep rolling. That's my plan, because I had to fix it. So I've got to now find a way to save transfers. I've got to hope for no injuries.
Yeah.
Whereas you... If it was me, I would use the transfers, get rid of Hugo tonight...
Hugo to João Pedro tonight.
Do that tonight.
Saves me a point too.
Do your Enzo move tonight. Catch that price rise. Catch all your price rises tonight. Avoid your Hugo full. Do them because it's not costing you anything. Then you can watch through the Champions League. Because what happens if in the Champions League... Sorry, Arsenal fans, but if Timber and Gabriel both got injured in the Champions League, I don't even know if they'll play, to be honest, because they don't need to. But if they both got injured, then you hit the wildcard button and you just deal with it. But right now... I don't think you have to. All right. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah. I think you're getting a lot of love in the chat, right? A lot of love in the chat. There's something about playing the wild card and rolling those 4 free transfers through that means I like that. It gives me so much flexibility post wild card. But wild card is the ultimate flexibility.
You can only ever get to 5.
And if we get to the point of the season with the doubles and the blanks, it's going to be very powerful later on in the season. I get that. So I hear you. I think it's good advice. Yeah, there will be some moves tonight. I've got to avoid some price rises and some price falls tonight. Otherwise, I won't be able to get to the team I want to get to. So there will be some movement tonight. But whether it's full wildcard tonight or transfers tonight, wildcard later, don't know. But for sure, there's going to be some activity. So there we go. And listen, the game week's not even done yet, right? We've got DCL versus Tarko
DCL's going
tomorrow.
to wipe out the Tarko clean sheet.
He might well do. But Tarko's got a pretty good track record of getting defcons and goals so far this season. So I back him. Tell everybody what's going on this week, Sam.
Busy week, actually, this week. So I've got off the bench on Tuesday. So I'm looking forward to doing that. That should be a good fun. I think it's actually with Sonaldo, which I've spoken to Sonaldo for such a long time.
Very
so
nice.
Hopefully it is. We can get in our Spurs misery boats together and have that conversation.
Sing songs about sun. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll roll out the Dele Alli song on the Off the Bench podcast.
Oh, let's do it.
It only costs $5 million. Anyway, so we've got that on Tuesday. I'll be back with Jules and Kells on the official pod on Thursday. I will then be with you on Saturday on Sky Sports News, seeing through the Game Week 24 deadline. So if you are in the UK or have access to Sky Sports News, we will be live at 9:30 on Saturday morning doing that. We've also got some Patreon calls coming up this week with some of our patrons who are in their wildcard. I know George wants to talk this week, so I'm looking forward to that one. I had a good couple of chats last week actually with some of our patrons as well. So it's that season.
Shout out to Duncan.
Shout out to Duncan. Yeah, I enjoyed my chat with Duncan last week, and I shall look forward to my chat with George this week. So yeah, it's going to be a busy week of FPL content again.
Very good. Very, very good. All right, well, listen, thanks for tuning in to FPL Family here on a Sunday night, folks. We'll be back next week doing it all over again to find out how potentially my wildcard's gone. Maybe my 5 transfers. Who knows? It's a bit bonkers. Could be a bit bonkers this week.
I'm going to Spurs
Especially,
again.
You don't say it like that. You're supposed to say, I'm going to Spurs again and I can't wait. I'm really excited to go to Spurs again.
I'm really excited to go to Spurs again on Sunday.
If you say it like that, if you're saying like, oh, I've got to go to Spurs again, it's like, is it even worth going?
Yeah, it is worth going because when I get there, I really love it.
As Evie would say, the chips are great.
Well, she's now got to come because Max's game's later. I was just trying to work out whether it's actually feasible to leave just a little bit later so Max could play his game. If we went immediately on the final whistle, could we still make it? I think we could. But it might be a push. I might be stressed. I might just take Evie. But she's only really coming for the chips, apparently.
George is saying you're going to vlog it again?
I did vlog the Champions League.
You enjoyed it?
Do you think it'll end up being a positive? I don't know. We could.
Maybe.
They're just hoping for one of me crying.
No, they're
convinced.
not. No, they're not, Sam. They want you to be happy.
No, I'm convinced that that's why they want him to be to do the Champions League run. Yeah, well, if you want, I'll vlog the Man City game.
There we go. All right, so look out for vlogs, look out for the Ohana podcast, of course, over on Patreon, free for all of you. Just got to get a Patreon account. You can listen to our Ohana podcast, find out what I'm thinking in terms of wildcard and transfers and what I'm planning to do. But get in the comments of the video, let us know. Would you just make those transfers? Would you take a hit maybe? Would you play the wildcard? What are you thinking in my predicament? What are you saying? Leave us a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and we'll see you this time next week. Cheers, guys.
Bye, guys.